Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Per multiple reports, some from Ian Rapoport, Tom Pericello as well, Matt Eber Fluce is expected to return as the Chicago Bears head coach. Let's talk about it starting now. Now, if you are new to the channel, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page. We do talk Chicago sports daily on this channel. It's the only channel talk Chicago sports, how Chicago talk. So make sure that you get in tune with us, man. As reported by multiple people, I've seen this from Tom Pelissero, now seeing this from Ian Rapoport, and so I felt it was very video worthy. The Chicago Bears are expected to maintain Matt Eber Fluce heading into the 2024 season. Specifically, Ian Rapoport said about this, I would be surprised as of right now if Matt Eber Fluce was not back for the Chicago Bears. They've looked much better. They certainly seem to be heading in the right direction. I hear nothing but positive vibes from Chicago. Now, the interesting part of this is I hear nothing but positive vibes. Clearly, this guy's not on Bears Twitter at all, but I will say this. I think that in this situation, right, this is probably very dependent on what Matt Eberflus does the final two games. This seems like a report very expectant of if the Bears go out there and win this next game, win the final two games, what the conversation is going to be, or even just win the Packers game as a whole, right? I mean, you have to look at kind of how this Bears team has improved. And I guess, right, when you look at things on the surface, when you look at the defense, you can 100% say that the defense is better, even with some of the flaws that have been there, even with some of the pieces that you look at and you can say, listen, a head coach should not allow his team to lose 3 games in historic fashion the way that they have. But if this team continues it's how it has been winning since the first 4 games of the year, you can say that they are heading in the right direction. I mean, if they win out the last 2, they finished the season 8-5. They win one of the last 2. They finished the season 7-6. That is an above 500 record after starting at 0-4. I guess in theory, right, you can see some improvement. I think specifically on the defensive side, when you look at how this defense has been against the run, I mean, they own the number 23 overall defense in the NFL, and that may not appear as a great stat right now, but they also rank 12th in the NFL in turnovers, averaging 1.5 takeaways per game. And when you think about that stat right there, from where they started, where beginning of the season we were nowhere near the top 10 in turnovers, right? We were at the bottom of the NFL because we literally could not take the ball away. When you see how the Bears have taken the ball away, for sure, since Justin Fields has come back, and over the past, I would say 6 to 7 weeks, you really feel good, especially from the time that Montez Sweat has shown up. You really feel good about kind of where this defense is heading. And as a team overall, right, I guess there is something to be said about how the team has stayed together through the trials that they've gone through. When you look at, you know, the Justin Fields ups and downs and different things like that, when you look at how the team started off 0-4 and having to still come out and compete every day, when you look at the fact that in situations where, you know, the Cleveland game or the Denver game or, you know, like the Lions game would break most teams, this team has still come out week in and week out and look to compete. Now, I do think that there are very glaring things that you can look at as the fan, as the owner, as the GM, as the president, and say, you're not seeing what we're seeing here. Are you not seeing the situation that is in place? And I think that there is a case where Ryan Poles does see it, because we heard him comment about it and kind of let people know, hey, listen, like, we need to get better in these areas still. But even with all that said, on the base of it, you look at this season from last season. They were a 3-win team last season. They're now a 6-win team. Can they finish out the season a 7 or 8-win team? Can you beat your rivals in the Green Bay Packers? I've said this a couple of times. If they beat the Packers, you're going to see guys come back. That's just how it goes, man. So for me, I guess it's not a surprise to me that Eberflus is coming back. It's more of a surprise to me that some of the other things aren't being held as in high regard because of him being a DC DC, right? And I think that's the thing for me with Fluce. I know Fluce can be a DC. I watched him in Indianapolis. I know what happens when he's a DC in the building. So are you now going to sit there and say that Matt Eber Fluce is a great DC, but he doesn't want to be a DC? He's going to want to be a head coach, the CEO. He said that the entire time. Do you love Fluce, the head coach, or do you love Fluce, the DC? And if you love Fluce, the DC, understand that you're not getting that same level of competency at the head coaching position. How do we know that? Well, I've watched Justin Jones drop back in coverage. I've watched an offensive coordinator that's allowed to sit there and be very complacent in fourth quarter situations. I've watched players continually be up and down when it comes to effort. I've watched players continually not exude the hits principles that we've talked about. Just like Matt Eber Fluce, or I'm sorry, just like Ryan Poles said, right, in his interview on ESPN on the pregame show, where he talks about, you know, we can't sit here and be talking about going back into the fundamentals every single week. We shouldn't be talking and having the same conversations we were having in week 4 and coming to the end of the season. There's a big issue with that. I think it'll be very interesting to see kind of what that means for the personnel group here. What does that mean moving forward? But when you look at it, I guess, right, on the surface, did the Chicago Bears get better? Yes. When you start to peel away some of those onions, how much better did you expect this Bears team to get? How much better are you looking for this Bears team to be? That's the question I have for you guys, man. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. Do you feel like Fluce should be back? Do you feel like he's done a good enough job keeping this team on track? For me, I would say that I would move on from Matt Eber Fluce, but I don't get the final call. You know what I mean? And I guess there is something to be said about 2 years into this, it feels like your team is leaps and bounds better than what it was last season. But at the same time, you also gave him better personnel group. I don't know. That's just me. The one thing that I will say about all of this is this says nothing about Luke Getsy. This says nothing about the future of the quarterback in here, right? This just says that. Now, what I will say that maybe does put the feather in the right direction for Justin Fields with Eberflus staying here is that Ian Rapoport is saying, I hear nothing but positive vibes from Chicago. I would assume he's probably talking about from the front office, from the GM, from the president of football operations there, now Kevin Warren. I feel good about what I'm seeing in Chicago. To me, that means that he feels good about what he's looking at that is developing in 2 years. What can we do in year 3 to push this to the next level? I don't know, man. And I'm going to be real with you. I guess if Fluce is staying and he's calling the defense, I'm okay with that at the end of the day. The part for me that I want to see move in the right direction is the offensive side of the ball. I think you have weapons. You need to add some more weapons. I like Cole Kmet. I like DJ Moore. I love DJ Moore. I'm not going to lie. I like Cole Kmet. I love DJ Moore. And I think that Justin Fields can take steps in the right direction, but I think that no matter what you do at the quarterback position, you have to look at Luke Getsy and go, what the heck are you doing here, brother? What are you trying to build here? And I think people kind of forget this because it's so much become Fields or Williams, Fields or Williams, Fields or Williams, that there were points in this season, to start this season, and it shouldn't be the case. There were points in this season where offensive guys, former quarterbacks, former NFL offensive coordinators, former NFL head coaches, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, right? Like guys who have done this at the highest level would look at the tape and they would say, I don't know what Luke Getsy's point of this is. I don't know what he's trying to run. I don't know who the number one guy is here. I don't know what this play is looking to execute. I think that offensively the schematic is piss poor, and it has been all season. And now that we've gotten toward the end of the season, everybody's like, well, it can't be that anymore, even though that's probably still a problem, but Justin Fields should be able to adjust. And I say this, I've said this multiple times, coaching matters. Look at the difference between Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy. Look at the difference between Andy Reid, right, and Matt Nagy. What you're seeing with a real generational talent, not a project, not a possible generational talent, not maybe the next guy, a real generational talent, is that this guy is not getting the job done, and he is looking bad while doing it, holding the football too long, getting outside of the pocket too quickly sometimes, not making the right throw on time, right? Like it's not me hating on what he's doing there. It's just coaching matters. On the flip side of that, I look at Miami. I look at Jalen Hurts. I look at all these situations where guys came in and the coach did the right job. Kyle Shanahan with Brock Purdy. Coaching matters. And so to me, coaching matters so much that you absolutely have to get Luke Getsy out of there. If you're going to keep Matt Eber Fluce, at least make a change at the offensive coordinator position, because I think that's going to be the most important thing. And when it comes to the quarterback position, I don't want to see this be the same thing that we saw, right? The Chicago Bears go out there and they hold on to Justin Fields here, and then we move on from the head coach, or we move on from the offensive coordinator, and now everybody's looking at him and we're just like, oh, well, this guy is it. It's over, trade him, get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. But on the flip side of that, I also don't want Caleb Williams coming in here and all of a sudden now you've got a new head coach who has to be meshed with, right? If it doesn't work out, I guess I should say, a new head coach that has to be meshed with a new offensive coordinator that has to be meshed with a new quarterback that he probably doesn't want, just like we've seen the Chicago Bears do over and over and over. Matt Nagy never wanted Mitch Trubisky. John Fox never wanted Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was here for a while. Mike, y'all know which one I'm talking about, the little Lego Star Wars dude, whatever he was, man. He never wanted Jay Cutler either, right? Like, there's all these guys you can look at that didn't want the quarterback that was in place, and this caused anarchy. Matt Nagy and Mitch Trubisky, anarchy, right? He doesn't want to teach him. He doesn't want to work with him. He just, nope, I'm good. I'm done on it, right? Give me a veteran. I want to go out here and win games right now. Like, that's the situation I don't want to see happen here with Chicago Bears. And so for me, I do wonder what's going to be the future of this Bears team. I do wonder what's going to be the future with Matt Nagy, and I do wonder what's going to be the future with the quarterback position. I'm sorry, Matt Nagy, Matt Eber Fluce. And I do wonder what's going to be the future with the quarterback position, because to me, the quarterback position in the city right now is such a volatile conversation. Are you looking to bring back Justin Fields with a third offensive coordinator? I'm not personally worried about him learning the scheme, because to me, I think that you look at Justin Fields as a guy that everybody always says this: if you get him the right coach, he'll be successful somewhere else. If you go get him the right coach, he's going to go be successful somewhere else. Well, go get him the right coach. Go get him the right guy to put him in positions to be successful. Go get him Eric Bieniemy. Go get him Frank Reich. Go get him Greg Roman. Go whoever you think can make this guy success. Go find that guy, because we can't act like that guy doesn't exist out there. And I hate that the Chicago Bears and Chicago as a whole always looks at it and says, well, that's what they build. That's what they want to do. That's how they want to keep things together. So I'll be really intrigued to see kind of what happens at the quarterback position moving forward, what happens with the offensive coordinator position as well. What do you guys think should happen? Let me know in the comments below. I'll be down there talking with you as well. As always, man, it's your boy Pat, the designer, back at it again. Wasn't even going to drop a video today because holiday weekend, we're moving studios. I was going to take a break, but this news comes out, you got to drop something. Hey, let me know how you guys feel, man. I'll be down in the comments talking with you as well. As always, y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Big Bird Don. Let's hope that the future is bright, because it feels like Matt Eber Fluce is going to be here for a while. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Peace.